Alright guys, I have something to show you, something that I'm preparing right now. I think you guys might find it really interesting, and it came to me from my aunt, my tita Encarna, and I've loved it. Like, I've been using this thing now for the past couple of weeks, and I find it very effective. So I want to show you guys something really cool. And that thing, Mabuhay Squad, is this. Check it out.
Hey guys, welcome to my daily vlogs. Please subscribe.
It's tea that apparently helps you sleep better. It's called Restful Sleep by Yogi, and it contains valerian, chamomile, passion flower, and skullcap, traditionally used in herbal medicine as a sleep aid. How interesting, right? Obviously this came from Canada. The other side is in French. But yeah, I found it to be really effective, actually. I tend to have insomnia sometimes, either because of drinking too much coffee or exercising too much, like when I exercise in the night, especially if I take a pre-workout. OMG, I'm up till 4 a.m. Or I'm stressed from, from work, from editing, or whatever it might be. There might be a lot on my mind and I can't sleep. Yeah, I found this really help. All of you guys who might have trouble sleeping, try this. It's not really like a drug. Like, it won't make you fall asleep medically, but somehow it kind of like, I don't know, it relaxes you. I mean, for those of you who know chamomile, it's not really a sedative. It's more like a relaxer, I guess. You feel like calm and relaxed and less anxious if that's what's keeping you up. And whatever this other stuff is, valerian, passion flower, skullcap, never had that before, not until now. It's really good, and the tea smells heavenly. It smells so good. So yeah guys, check it out if you guys want to drink tea before bed. I tried to get RJ to try it too, but he says he tried it once and then like he kept having to get up to go pee in the night, so that kind of defeats the purpose. So if you're like that, then maybe this isn't the thing for you. But yeah, just a small cup, not a huge glass, but small cup of tea. Good morning. Morning. Did you sleep well? Yeah. All right. I love your morning chirps. The bird is now self-entertaining. And by that I mean she's playing with her toys. With birds, you want them to be able to self-entertain, meaning not have to depend always on interaction with me, and just generally enjoy her cage time. I think it's a big myth that birds in cages are a cruel thing. There are a few videos on it. I highly recommend you guys watch videos by Bird Tricks. Basically, it used to be thought that birds should be let out of the cage at all time. Like 98% of the time, they should be out of their cage because it's cruel. It's like a jail cell, their cage. Well, no, actually. And if you get a bird, you will also see this. I discovered this too, in that when Ligaya's out of her cage, it gets to a point where she gets super bored. And I mean, I can't be playing with her for, 12 hours a day. There are things I need to do. And then she just ends up sitting at the top there and like, getting bored. And then that's when I see that she starts to fidget with her feathers and starts to get into feather destruction behavior, like plucking her down feathers, which is not good. So it's said that you should really start thinking about placing lots of toys in her cage, and then when they do have their cage time, it should be focused cage time where you're spending time with them and then, playing with them, because they'll get a lot more out of just a limited amount of out of cage time, but quality out of cage time with you, than a whole day out of the cage and just completely bored, out of their minds, nothing to do. So I love that Ligaya is independent enough to play with her toys when she's in the cage. She really enjoys her cage time. Like when she's out of her cage, I already know when the right time to put her in the cage is, because she starts to like show signs of boredom, and she'll often go into her cage herself. It is not cruel to keep a bird in a cage, in an appropriately sized cage, that is. This cage is the bare minimum, I believe, for African gray. It's a little bit bigger than the bare minimum, but I can't can't wait for her to eventually move into her own aviary. That's another option, by the way, guys, to have like a PlayStation for the birds. That is out of the cage time and they can self-entertain. I can't wait for Ligaya to have her aviary as her PlayStation, I suppose. See, look at her. She's playing with her toys. She's in her room playing video games. Parrot video games, guys. So today is yet another rainy day. Rainy season as usual here in the Philippines. Thunder is so loud. Honestly, sometimes I have to... I'm gonna try to vlog it, but it is so definitely loud. It shakes my place. Like literally, it's as if the thunder happened right above us. The sound is so powerful, it travels through our walls, everything. It's just so loud. Sounds like a bomb. Doesn't look like it's raining now, but it's coming. It was also raining a few minutes earlier. All right, the plants gotta be nourished. They gotta drink. Because during the summer, when it doesn't really rain, the ground gets pretty dry. I'm sure these trees have been waiting for these rains for a long time. It's a boring rainy day, Cypher. We went running earlier in the hallway, but during the day, this dog mostly sleeps. And he's awake in the evenings. Right, Sipes? Awake in morning and awake at sundown. You're crepuscular now. There we go. Here's the rain now. Didn't take very long. Hear that? That's not even as loud as it gets, guys. That is just like quiet. It gets so loud. Like earlier, there was one loud thunder bang and like I think it scared Cypher. It's really fascinating though, right guys? Are any of you guys the type of people who love storms? Because I know there are some people who love storms. They like, it makes them go to sleep. It relaxes them somehow. Just the sound of rain and storms and all that. Oh, storms really intrigue me. They're like interesting to watch and listen to, especially tropical storms like this. So guys, how are things in your neck of the woods? How are things in your neighborhood? Is life normal right now? Like, are you guys opening up? What's the weather like? I know some of you in the US are experiencing like super duper hot temperatures in the hundreds of degrees Fahrenheit. Let me know. I'm curious. It's August now. I know growing up in Toronto at this time, it's super hot. Ooh, I love summers in Canada. They get really hot. And for like 1 week, it gets very hot. As hot as here in the Philippines, in fact. You know, it always used to frustrate me when people would say, hey, you're from Canada? It must be so cold. Like, as if we live in the North Pole up there. Yes, in the wintertime, it is cold. But just like... Hear that? But just like in New York, we have a summer, we have hot months, and our temperatures are more or less the same as New York. So yeah, like for half of the year, we're not living in Narnia. We're living in like a nice warm country. At this time in Toronto, I believe it's warm and also raining too. The storm is certainly putting Cypher to sleep. Good boy. What a good dog. I think it'll be an interesting experience to see Ligaya in her aviary, which has a screened roof. So when it'll rain, it will rain in the aviary too. I think that'll be a different experience for Ligaya. I'm interested to see what her reaction is to like a legit rainstorm and like bathing in it. Because right now, all she knows is the shower and my hand spray. I'm curious to see how she'll react in like an extended rainstorm. So guys, as for Manila, just a couple of days ago, the president opened up the city a little bit more. We went back into GCQ, General Community Quarantine. So we opened up the rules of like going out and interacting in the world a little more. What those exact rules are, I'm not sure, because RJ and I have just been doing the exact same thing since the start, which is staying inside and not going out at all, except to like walk the animals outside. Yes, we have had opportunities to meet up with friends perhaps, or do events, or possibly even like have work outside of our place, like a shoot at a studio. And of course we've turned that down because we'd rather stay in. You know, this COVID situation here in the Philippines is getting really bad now. We're not even on our second wave. We're like just experiencing the foot of our first wave. We are not flattening the curve. And just a couple of days ago, some very popular YouTubers here in the Philippines contracted COVID-19. Baninay and Bont, her boyfriend, and all of Bont's family, and the father passed away as well. So it's just so tragic what's going on here. So RJ and I are trying our best to help not contribute to the crisis by staying inside. It really hurts me to know that like things are starting to get really serious. I mean, they always were serious, but now it's like serious, and it's gonna get worse before it gets better. I'm grateful that RJ and I can work from home. A lot of businesses aren't able to do that. A lot of people who have jobs that require them to leave the house, you know, exist in the city, so people still have to commute and go out there. Like my prayers go out to them. It's just crazy. I'm also grateful that I was able to get my parents out of here before all of this peak started to happen. Even that was such an ordeal, OMG. You know, it's very hard thinking about it all. And at the same time, it's also hard being a YouTuber through all of this. Like, I said it before, I feel like, you know, those violinists in the movie Titanic, when the Titanic is sinking and like I'm one of those violinists that trying to entertain like an audience that is completely going into hijinks. You know what I mean? Like, how do you continue to make content while all of this stuff is going on in the world? So that's been a struggle, and sometimes I've had to battle with not being inspired or in the right mindset to create content to entertain people or distract people or from, you know, the stresses of life right now, or to make them laugh, whatnot. But I don't know, just trying my best here, I guess. How are you guys dealing with this pandemic? You guys staying at home, working from home? Do any of you guys have to work outside of the home? I just feel things changed so fast. Like, it came right out of the left field. I don't think people are wired for this drastic of a change on this scale. So everyone's just trying to like ad-lib their way through all of this, and it's just unbelievable how quickly life can change. And I hope everyone out there, all of you guys watching, are able to adapt to this change. Even all of you guys with kids right now. Like, I have cousins, and in our cousin chat, they often talk about like school, like how's that gonna happen? Because in Canada, we start the new year in September, and my cousin Rowena is a teacher, and she says the consensus now is that in Toronto, Canada, kids will have to do digital learning. Like, they will have to learn from Zoom, I guess, you know, or Skype or whatever they're using, where the teacher has to like see groups of kids and they have to do like guided learning, I don't know, something like that, and the parents have to supervise. But man, like, that must be so tough. Like, imagine getting a 7-year-old to sit in front of a computer and listen to a teacher and do exercises when they're at home and distracted. Like, at least if you're in a school, you're in a classroom, it's a controlled setting, and like the kids are forced to pay attention, right? Whereas if you're at home and you're with mom and dad, and you know, like, you've got your toys around and everything's familiar, and sometimes mom and dad can't be with you to pay attention, like, it's so difficult. I know some students here in the Philippines are completely skipping a year. Like, they're just not gonna go to school for this year during this pandemic. It's a write-off. They'll have to be a year behind. Yeah, it's just really, really crazy to see the amount of change that's going on. And I'm interested to see how such issues are being dealt in your city, guys. Let us know. So here is RJ and I's garden. See? We got serpentina, rosemary, mint, basil that we use during cooking, and to also feed to Ligaya and Cypher as well. We got aloe vera down there. This garden has changed. Like, at first I started with like kangkong and sweet potato. But eventually I picked it to death, and so we started a new garden here with our herbs. I also wonder about how long this detached society will last. Like, will school now have to be online for the next few years? Is that how it's gonna work? I know they're preparing vaccines, but something tells me that the effects of the pandemic will create permanent changes to the way life works for society. In the areas of school, in the areas of, like, I don't know, the food business. Like, is delivery now going to be the predominant way that people get food? You know what I'm saying? Like, how will this also impact vacationing? I don't know, just random things I think about. On the bright side, this pandemic has had some positive benefits, some positive changes to our life. For example, RJ and I have discovered the joys of online shopping. Had this not happened, we probably would have taken much longer to discover online shopping the way we do now. Also, we've become more domesticated, especially RJ. He like helps cook, clean, wash dishes, that kind of thing. I've brushed up on like my editing skills because now I'm editing all the content except for these vlogs. Thank you, Jaya. And just random skills like, you know, cutting hair. RJ now knows how to cut hair, kind of. We also have been spending less on like, I don't know, travel, on random expenses like having to buy new clothes because we keep going out. Eating out, that's another thing. We used to eat out every day. Like we would have food delivered every day for breakfast, lunch, and dinner before. But now RJ cooks, so we've saved up on like food costs, which is great. And all of this home time has allowed me to spend more time with my pets, with Cypher. You know, this is the best time to have a puppy because you can keep a close eye on them throughout the day. Litter training, housebreaking Cypher was a breeze because we could catch him every time he made a mistake. So we were home through that whole process, teaching him the rules. Of course, Ligaya is loving all of this home time from the both of us. So in that sense, I guess home life due to the lockdown has been beneficial for us. Oh yeah, and also less partying at the bar. A big ace. I've been able to discover new hobbies like aquascape, and of course RJ's very interesting and awesome passion of tablescapes. RJ is awesome at setting up the table and cooking as well. And who knows where that will lead. He's doing well on TikTok, right? RJ has this video that thousands of people have watched already. I think one of the biggest lessons though, through all of this was, for me personally, is protecting mental health. I don't recall being as stressed from surfing through the internet as much as I feel now. You know, just scrolling through Twitter sometimes gets me so stressed, it gets me enraged. A lot of really negative things are happening out there. Like just the random things. Like when this whole pandemic first started, there was this whole group of people, there still are a group of people who don't take this pandemic seriously, that were going to great lengths to try to convince the world that this was a hoax by some, I don't know, powers that be. It just blows my mind. Politics, OMG, not gonna talk about politics, but random things about politics, not just one country, but several countries out there. And I think you guys know what countries I'm talking about. Oh, so infuriating. And I've had to be like, okay, I need to close this app, put my phone down, and just not react, not read it, not watch it, all of that. So like mental health has been a big thing. And then also like not burning out. There have been several times during this pandemic as a YouTube creator where I felt like I'm burning out now. I'm running out of juice. But you know, with your support, all your comments, having a lot of the videos perform well, that really encourages me to keep going. Several projects of ours had to be put on hold, of course, because of this pandemic, including the building of our house, which is now slowed down because of this pandemic. Will it be done by next year? Let's hope so. We also can't really do anything on the Mabuhay Squad Hacienda because of this pandemic. Certain TV commercial deals that I was supposed to be part of are on hold because of this pandemic, so everything's kind of up in the air. Just trying to live everything day by day. How about you guys? Siphies, you are the coffee bean to our perfume shopping. You are the sorbet to our 7-course meal. You are the silver lining at the end of the storm. And you too, guys. Oh, you've been eating. Yes, look at your dirty beak. You got some beets on your beak. You beak. Oh, what would we do without our animals, right guys? You're our gray lining. Okay guys, let's turn to our beacon of light, our positive affirmation of the day for Thursday, August the 20th. I deserve to set boundaries and to have them respected. Ooh, like that. Oh, you know, this applies to people who are toxic, for me anyway. If you have someone in your life that's toxic and you're like me, you're very like accommodating and you're just like, oh, just whatever. whatever, and then they walk all over you, or they drain you from your energy, or whatever effect their energy has on you, you need to set boundaries, guys. You need to say no, and you need to respect my boundaries. So there you go, guys. The importance of setting boundaries for yourself. Hope you enjoy it. Alright guys, so it's a big moment because RJ's preparing the tools. The sides are they're okay, but they're getting long. I miss having it like nice and clean. And now that RJ knows how to cut hair, sort of, I said, RJ, will you cut my hair again on the sides and back? He said yes. Now last time he made a small mistake here by shaving my hairline back too much to the skin. But let's hope that this time it's better. Here we go, Mabuhay Squad. Time to get my hair cut by RJ Garcia.